You're listening to the Weekend Sport Podcast with Jason Pine from News Talk ZB.
Warriors' top 8 hopes in the NRL starting to slip away after a 30-20 loss to the Eels at Mount Smart last night. The Eels led 18-4 at half-time. They extended that out to 30 points to 4 with 15 minutes to go. It was only 3 late tries to the Warriors that closed the scoreline up. Experienced rugby league journo for NRL.com, Brad Walter, joins us. Brad, what's happened to the Warriors?
Oh, look, Jason, they're just being inconsistent all season. Unfortunately, when you think they're going to win, they don't, and when you maybe think that they're up against it, they manage to dig deep and pull something out of the fire. There's no last night. If a win would have put them in a reasonably comfortable position. They've got a bye in hand, but they're probably now facing the situation where they need to win their 4 remaining games, and with the bye, they're still in top 8 contention. But if they don't win those 4 remaining games, their fate is likely to be in the hands of other teams, and it's pretty congested in that sort of in that middle of the table where they're sitting at the moment. So yeah, look, that's to lose to the Eels. The Eels are basically in a wooden spoon battle with the West Tigers. That may have saved the Eels from winning the wooden spoon, but yeah, it's certainly put a dent into the Warriors' finals hopes.
What is causing this inconsistency? Is there anything you can put your finger on that isn't going as it should?
Not really. I mean, I look at the side, and it's a great team that the Warriors have gotten. There's a lot of individual players that put their hands up, perform well most weeks. It is. It is hard to put your finger on. Look, there's been a lot of chopping and changing for various reasons, but mainly due to injury. There's been a lot of chopping and changing, in the key positions in the halves, at fullback as well. So I don't know if that's a factor. Sean Johnson was back last night after a layoff. He's had a injury-prone season. I think it's really sort of, I feel unfair, I suppose, for want of a better word, but it seems like every time Sean comes back into the team now, because he's been out for a while, he doesn't have any time to find his feet. He's got to be straight in, and, he's playing in these games where, they're expected to win, they need to win. He's obviously the club's first choice halfback, but like he said, he just came straight back into the team last night, and they were on the back foot. And now they're in a situation where they're going to win all of their remaining games. It's pretty tough, I think, when you're a key playmaker, and the key playmakers in the team have been, in and out on a regular basis. It's just really hard to get that consistency amongst the playing squad.
Do you believe in second season syndrome for coaches? And is that what this is for Andrew Webster?
Oh, look, I don't know if I believe in it, but like we have seen do with teams, with players, so I suppose it can happen with coaches as well. But look, mate, Andrew Webster's a very, meticulous coach. He's very highly regarded. He's been coaching for a long time. He might not have been a head coach until last year. Things worked well. The Warriors performed, exceeded expectations last year. Then the expectations have obviously risen this year, and maybe they haven't lived up to them as well. I don't know. Look, I think Andrew Webster's doing a terrific job there. I don't think he's got complacent, or I don't think he's, I think he's still reading the game. I heard his comments afterwards. He was obviously disappointed with the way they played. And let's not gloss over it. It was 30-4 with, about 10 minutes to go, and the Eels got a player sent to the sin bin, and the Warriors scored some late tries to make the score look respectable. They were they were outplayed, and it was their defence was their issue. Obviously, when you concede 30 points, defence is the issue. But the Eels were punching holes in them on the edges, consistently all night long. Blaze Taulagi, Dylan Brown had a great game. That was, they've got some defensive issues that they really need to sort out, and I suppose some of that comes down to attitude as well. And look, what I thought was good, what Andrew said was that he's looking forward to the next he's looking forward to the response of the players and how they respond. You know, they're still the season's not over. They're still in with a chance. It's really down to them now, and that's probably going to determine not just whether the Warriors make the top 8, but probably the futures of some players at the club, you would think, because, you know, this is a test of character now.
Should an attitude be a non-negotiable for a professional sports person?
Oh, look, it is. But, I mean, this is such a even competition, you know. We see upsets every week. We see close games. We see unexpected results. You know, teams that are down to 12 men, as the West Tigers were against the Cowboys the other night, really, you know, have a dig and almost snatch a win. I think, you know, like in such a I suppose, elite and highly competitive competition where, you know, basically every team's a chance of beating the other on their day, then we're only talking like, you know, 1 or 2%, you know, drop off or lift, or, you know, even things maybe not going the, you know, the way that the bounce of the ball, basically. But we're not talking about a massive shift in attitude or intensity or whatever. We're talking about small degrees, but those small degrees can make the difference, you know. And if one team's up and the other team's not completely on their game, you know, the team that's up usually will win, you know, and it can vary from week to week. It can be down to travel. It can be playing at home. There can be a variety of reasons. It can be playing the bottom of the table team that, you know, if maybe somebody is a little bit complacent or do think they're going to win, or you know, they're thinking ahead, or I don't know. But there's a lot of factors. But all I'm saying is it doesn't take much to swing a game one way or another, and it doesn't mean that people have got bad attitudes or whatever. It just means that, you know, maybe, I don't know, they just weren't. You know, sometimes when teams are desperate, they, you know, they can lift that a little bit more, and you know, maybe that was one of those games last night, and maybe, Nick, what we're going to see now going forward is the Warriors are now in a desperate position where they just have to turn up at their best every week.
So 4 games to go, all 4 of them against teams currently inside the top 8. Only one of those games against the Bulldogs in round 25 is at home. Can you see them winning all 4?
Well, what I can see is if they do win all 4, they're going to go into the finals in a really strong position, because the opposition that they're playing is a finals contenders as well. And if they win those 4 games, then they're going to hit the finals firstly in good form and obviously full of confidence as well. But can I see? Look, it's going to be a tough ask, isn't it? Like, winning 4 games in a row in the NRL doesn't happen that often. You know, can they afford to maybe not win 4? Possibly. You know, they've got to buy, as I said. So there's really 5 games to go, but they've got to buy, so it's guaranteed 2 points. So you can put that down to win. I imagine if they had 3 out of 4, they might be all right. You know, I think that's going to be the you know, the minimum that they're going to need to win. But I think the main thing is they're just got to get out there and win next week, and then and try like if they can win, there's no reason they can't. They've definitely got the roster, got the playing talent to be able to do that. They've got great support on both sides of the Tasman. So I don't think it's going to matter. I think it might actually help them to be playing those games away. You know, they'll come across, their focus will be 100% on the task at hand. You know, they'll go into the travel can help sometimes. So yeah, look, there's no doubt they can do it. I think they're better than some of the teams that they're potentially vying with for spots in the bottom half of the top 8. So if they turn up and they play to the best of their ability, and you know, a bit of luck goes their way as well, I've got no doubt they'll be there. And if they are there, they're going to be dangerous.
All right, and just to finish, Brad, if we zoom out from this and head to the top of the table and see Melbourne Storm sitting there, which is not an unusual thing to see, of course, is everybody chasing the Storm in 2024?
Oh, I think the Storm and the Panthers. I mean, the Storm have just been consistent all year long. You know, so, look, they're remarkable, aren't they? They've had, you know, Munster's been out for a long period. Jerome Hughes has missed a lot of football as well, so they've often played without their leading playmakers, with either one or both of them out. Pappenhausen's missed a lot of football. Their forwards don't seem to be, you know, on paper aren't the sort of team that they've had in previous seasons, but consistently they just turn up, ready to play. I suppose it is that mental attitude that we were talking about before, but every week turn up no matter who's in their team, have a crack, and they know how to win. They win the close games more often than not. There's no doubt that in finals footy, it's going to take a really, good performance to beat them. It's going to take a good team to beat them. But I still think the Penrith Panthers, I think they're the best team in the competition, and they know how to win as well, as it's been proven by three premierships. They've got a lot to play for. They've got players leaving at the end of the season, but they've sort of got to where they are without having, Nathan Cleary's missed a lot of football, and other players have been out injured as well throughout the season. But when they're all back in the finals, I think they're going to be the team to beat.
All right, the run-in is well and truly on. Let's hope the Warriors get a move on and find themselves somewhere near the 8. Brad, always enjoy your analysis. Thanks for taking the time.
Hey, great chatting, Jason.
For more from Weekend Sport with Jason Pine, listen live to News Talk ZB weekends from midday or follow the podcast on iHeartRadio.